May ni dato so duba mahankro ni aduokono enum ekuo bi ya no maka omu abomu a ofre won ho Alliance for Change wom hyehye oye chenchenche pa ya na ewo mai mu ana bi nsi pen ewo Ghana ha na ya to ne din Kumepreko demonstration.
Kumepreko started in Accra here. We then went to all the 10 regional capitals. Very interesting at that time. We visited all the 10 regional capitals. Kumasi one was very notable. That's what I really want to stress on, because that was really a massive demonstration, very massive. That one we named Kumepreko. That's the Kumasi one, Kumepreko. Then after that, you know, we went to Takrade, second day Takrade, the voter region who were there. We were in Cape Coast. We were in Upper West, Upper East. The Northern region itself, Brown Hafo. We covered all the regional capitals, yeah. So it was really a very successful exercise. The main reason why we got ourselves involved was to make sure that real democracy is established in this country.
Sakui demonstration na oyekere ya wo mo yore no na ni nyina na se wo mo kire mu ana je foforo aban de aba ya ye de digito ye frɛ no VAT no ene de aban embu man ni yie ma esikasam atwa ape enu nti ena Kumeprekofo wo mo ekofa nipa be empem oha ene ekire na wo mo tie wo ho egu emmonten so na wo ma hyehyehye eye ntoma kokɔ ene tuntum eye ntoma na fe wo mo de ntoma kokɔ abo won sa e de bia abo won ti na wo mo to enwom ya eye akon nwom ne ade na wo mo de kire se ne ma hodo ye ekoso o mai mu e fa na to de ne mpo se de aman ne ye bu no ye sikasam nko ye ne nyina no wo ma ne nyi ho kra.
In 1995 a group of us got together, organized a nationwide demonstration against the then newly introduced VAT into the country. We decided to protest because by then things were very difficult. That's number one. By then also, it was all in the process of fighting for democratic rule in this country.
Woman no ka oyekere no ho bra na ekoso afia pema hankono ne aduokono enum Ayora Kwesi Pratt, Hera Kwaku Bako, Victor Newman, Kakraba Cromwell, Kwaku Poku, Reku Brobe, Nana A.D. Akufo Addo, Nyaho Tamakloe, Akoto Ampao, any Afufro Bebre. Sakwi Dodankwa Akufo Addo, Wono, and an air Casamafo Edema Won. Na nipa baako a na waka ho bie di mu akotene ye papapa ene ye Dr.Nyaho Tamakloe woni ye che ne sue hunu efa Kumepreko ye esi ye afia pema hankron ne aduokono enum.
And of course a difficult one. When we got together, we were about 9 original people. If I can get the names right, Kwesi Pratt. It wasn't like what you see today. Kweku Bako was amongst us. Victor Newman. Then there's a gentleman by name Kakraba Cromwell. He was then a very young chap, Moses. Now we all enjoy. You enjoy. Yeah, then just left the University of Ghana. It's been. And then we had at that time a nice gentleman called Kweku Poku. Then of course we had Charles Reku Brobe, popularly known as Tarzan. He was amongst us. In fact, he was a very key figure. We have Nana Akufo-Addo, and then myself, Dr.Nyaho Tamakloe. So this is the group that sat down, planned, and then they moved. Collins had then been able to leave the khaki and then got into his political attire. It was what you see today, because the demonstrations were not handled by the security agencies very easily. It has never been done in this country, never, ever, to get a mass group, not what is happening, a really mass group to demonstrate against a quasi-military dictatorship. There have been fights, people die, and these have all been part of the democratic process, which now we all enjoy. You enjoy, and everybody enjoys. But it's been a long journey, and of course a difficult one.
Ebrana oyechre no ekoso dendenden no dodo na omuso de omo ho gi mu bie ewo nkronkro ahodo emu se omapagina na ote ade so eyeye rarolense se de wobu mai ono ade ne pebo ne boso ekire se de ope ene oyo dictatorship na fei se de amanane sikasam tutoyefo mekire international monetary fund se de omototo wo musikasam ne yedie no ema no esi se sa oyechre no ekofa mentime ho ase eni pinchen ebaya nipa bebre na omupreprae ebinom so ehwe wo nkwa.
We were able to hold meetings successfully without probably, the security agencies or whatever it is. I don't know whether they got to know about it. That really is now a history, but we didn't keep it as a secret either. You follow me? We distributed leaflets left, right, center. We had a lot of backing from taxi drivers, and ordinary people, ordinary people in the system. Okay. And that was what made it very interesting. There was no one singular person who can say he was the leader. There was no leader indeed, but we had Nana Akufo-Addo as a spokesperson for the group.
Abranti we bia na onu nua bema eka ho bie yaw ata ne nua no na sabre no ye kire ne koso wo se ogina ho fidigadochi wo hunu ye se yabo ne nua no tuo ewo ne kukumu sambo ne tuo ewo sebe ne bema no de sensen ho me kire scrotum no mu no na je se akọ hadwene ye papa na wo no hunu ne se eyade a ekoye se Liberia tamantokwa no esi wo ho na wo hwe ewo TV so.
If you study the group that I mentioned carefully, I will say all of us are political, all of us. But what is interesting about this group is that we all don't come from the same political tradition. We came from different political traditions. Kweku Bakon, Kwesi Pratt, Kweku Poku, they are all from the CPP tradition. Okay. Then myself, Nanado, that's Akufo-Addo, Victor Newman, and Charles Brobe, we came from the NPP tradition. You can see clearly that there is a group that came together for a particular purpose. And the purpose was to organize, because we were not influenced, in fact, we cannot be influenced by any external force or forces whatsoever to do what we did. But then Rawlings was no more a military dictator, but all the traits of dictatorship was still around. What happened on the ground, we, as the members of the Kumepreko leadership, to be frank with you, we didn't expect the group, what do you call it, the numbers that we saw. I remember very well myself, I've left one very key person, Akoto Ampao, very, very key person. We decided to meet early in the morning at the Nkrumah Circle, where you call Obra Sport now. And by the time I got there, myself, Kwesi Pratt, and Akoto Ampao, by the time I got there, the crowd was so thick. We couldn't believe it ourselves. But then Dr. Tarzan was there already, Charles Brobe was there already. So Charles said the crowd was so thick, they have started moving on their own, which was risky. The three of us had quickly to, get to the head of the march and control the crowd, because that is very important. Before then, we've got permission from the police command. They allowed us, they showed us a route to use. We started, as I said, from Obrasport, got on Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, all the way to UTC. When we got to UTC, then there was a big problem. That was where we had a confrontation with the police. And then there was firing of weapons. A police officer came towards me, and I told him there was no need for violence whatsoever here. If anyone dies, it might probably take a day or two to pick whoever committed that offense, but eventually the person will be picked, and the law will deal with the person. And after that, his attitude changed. The shooting stopped. I have been a soldier before, so I know how these things work. So he surprisingly gave orders, and the police were now some, in front of us, and some by our sides or the sides of the march. And that continued successfully. From UTC, we climbed that little hill, what the guns call Militia Gono. We climbed it and go to Wato area. When we go to Wato area, we just move around, got on the road that you now have the huge car park. And then that led us into the high street. So from the high street, we just marched, all the way to Novotel. And the march ended at Novotel Park, where you have the hotel now, That's where the march ended. And then we held a rally there, and there were a few speakers, But it was really interesting. That was the first time a group ever challenged Rawlings rule.
Yajitum say ebra ye wo media na nya bra emre kra ebre no emu ayedin ye papa hotre no adoso a eneyi sede o yekire enne ochina na krofo ye o yekire ne ade a omode kire se ezika semheda nkoyi a ha dwene no wose ye bo bibia kokko se yeso omba ye o yekire de nenso ya wo nhwe omo ye mpo wo mo a wo mo bo mo ho ban ebra o yekire no ekoso no mo so wo mo hwe omo ne ye ne omo kasa mu ye sede be a enkofa Kumepreko disi ye no ebi emmabiomu.
Or people died, not just. In fact, when we finished the march, about 4 people have lost their lives. We personally buried 3, I remember very well. Or even other 4. We as a group, we were all present at the funerals, the various funerals, I keep on saying that those of you who have not gone through or have not been able to see what happened in this country, because it's not easy dislodging a military dictator. It's not easy at all. And we thank God we now have a democratic system. It has not been easy. Throughout the life of this country, we virtually had dictators ruling this country longer than even politicians. Okay? And because after the removal of Nkrumah, we've not had any peace until now. So I think when we are doing certain things, we have to be very careful what we do. Democratic dispensation is the only way this country can move forward.